Hey guys, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful here, and unfortunately we have some very sad news to report in the wrestling world, and it's been a gutting week, and it got even more so as Shad Gaspard of Cryme Tyme has passed away at the age of 39. Gaspard went missing on Sunday, May 17th in Venice Beach when he was pulled under by a rip current. He was there with his 10-year-old son swimming when the riptide began and lifeguards rushed to rescue them. However, Gaspard had directed the lifeguards to save his son, a final selfless act, before Gaspard was pulled under. The Coast Guard police searched for Shad Gaspard over the next 3 days, but were unable to locate him, and his body washed ashore on Wednesday morning. A lot of you are going to remember Shad Gaspard from his tag team with Cryme Tyme, which many thought were poised to be longtime tag team champions in WWE. They had a lot more personality than almost anybody else in that tag team division in the 2000s. They even did a bit of a feud involving JBL and John Cena, which was very abrupt and ended pretty quickly. Cryme Tyme eventually split up in 2010 when Gaspard turned on JTG. And this was actually their second run in the company. They had been briefly fired for doing their finishing move to a referee a couple years before, but WWE brought them back real quick. They weren't the type of people back then that you wanted out there on the free agent market with the level of talent they had. JTG would hang around for a few years, but Shad Gaspard would get involved in a lot of different things. He would get involved in a lot of Hollywood stuff. And from what I remember, he also had worked with Muhammad Hassan on a graphic novel or a comic book. And this guy had long been involved in the entertainment industry. He had worked as a bodyguard for several high-profile clients like Mike Tyson, like P. Diddy, Britney Spears. Oh, man, he was in several TV shows and movies. He was in Think Like a Man 2. He was in Brothers. He had done a lot of different things throughout his career. If anything was proven by all this, it was that this guy was one of the most selfless people you could ever know. I mean, in his final act was saving his son and effectively sacrificing himself. But a few years ago, he stopped an armed robbery. He didn't know that the gunman had a BB gun, and he went to remove the guy's gun, or went to remove the guy's gun magazine from what he was holding, and he saw an air canister, and ended up slamming the armed robber to the ground and put him in a rear naked choke until cops showed up. I mean, that's a gutsy thing to do, and it's a responsible thing to do, and it's a brave thing to do, and that pretty much sums up Shad Gaspard. Cryme Tyme, of course, they reunited outside of WWE. In recent years especially, they'd been doing quite a few spots. They were actually supposed to be on some WrestleMania weekend shows for Primetime Pro Wrestling, but they did WrestleCade the last year in Winston-Salem. I had the good benefit of seeing that. They did the Joey Janela Clusterfuck Battle Royal and the GCW shows in, I think, the spring of last year, and they did several appearances all across the country: Texas, Tennessee, California. They had been much more active in 2019 than they had in recent years, and quite frankly, I was very excited to see them get another run. JTG is still only, I think, 34. Shad Gaspard only 39 years old. So I thought that they had another run in them, especially in this day and age with pro wrestling being what it was and people wrestling into a later age. I thought that they could have really done something. I thought NWA would have been a great landing spot for them, or even Ring of Honor. Unfortunately, we won't get to see that, but fortunately, we are left with a lot of really great memories of Shad Gaspard. We're left with a lot of really great memories with Cryme Tyme, and we're left with a really good example of how to be a man, how to be a good person, how to be selfless, how to be responsible, any number of examples you could take from a guy like Shad Gaspard have been left for you. Rest in peace, Shad Gaspard.